Hey y'all, hi. It's time for another hot takes video, this time fall fashion hot takes. I'm going to be reacting to fall fashion trends and, as always, kind of casting them in the light of practicality, thoughtful consumerism, and the quest for fewer, nicer things. Because sometimes trends can actually sharpen our vision as we quest towards fewer, nicer things, and sometimes they can knock us off of the path. If this happens to be your first time watching one of my videos, welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah. I am a writer and I just published my first book in March. I will link it down below. And I make these YouTube videos about aesthetics at large, fashion, beauty, etc., etc. And I hope you will enjoy it. Now let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Okay, y'all, today's video is sponsored by Factor. Factor delivers fresh, dietitian-approved, never frozen meals straight to your doorstep, making it easier than ever for you to meet your nutrition goals. Gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. And y'all, I'm here to tell you, these meals are a godsend. Nutritious, protein-centric meals are a priority for my family, but we're self-employed. We always seem to lose track of time and work too late into the evening, and we have a baby. These days, we always seem to run out of time to cook, and Factor is such a time saver. The meals are ready in just a couple of minutes, and they have options like Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan, and Veggie. And the thing that is blowing us away is that the meals are so good. Honestly, we were skeptical. We were like, how good can they be? Well, I recently had one of the Gourmet Plus meals, which are extra fancy meals that you can add into your Factor box. It was filet mignon, and I could not believe how good it was. The steak was perfectly cooked even after reheating. It was like melt in your mouth steak. It was like magic. I could not stop talking about it. I mean, we very much enjoyed all of the meals, not just the ones that are Gourmet Plus, and it's really impressive how the cuts of meat that are solid, like a chicken breast, somehow they are cooked perfectly every time, even after reheating in the microwave, which is how I heat them up. I was just extra double, triple impressed by that steak, and I had to mention it. Factor also has add-ons like smoothies and snacks. Our recent box included protein shakes, which, just like the meals, are absolutely delicious and satisfying and quickly became a hot commodity in the house. And they're gone now. I can't wait to get more. Head to factor75.com or click the link down below and use code HANNAHP50 for 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code HANNAHP50 at factor75.com for 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. Thank you so much to Factor for the food and for sponsoring. So for fashion hot takes, I usually find a comprehensive listicle or article on a trusted fashion site. And last time I did this, when I was talking about summer trends, I found this write-up by this writer for Glamour, Jake Henry Smith, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed his writing. I enjoyed the distillation that he presented. I enjoyed reacting to that specifically. I went looking this time and I found Jake Henry Smith's Fall 2024 Fashion Trends You Need in Your Closet Now, which suspiciously was the same link on the Google homepage when I searched. I think that it's just the same listing, the same article, but they've gone in and changed most of the trends, but as we will see, not all of them. And Jake Henry Smith has changed some of the language, updated it for fall. So first I was like, aha, I smell a rat. But then I was like, no, actually, there's a lot of new stuff here. And it's perfect because, Jake Henry and I, we have history. We have a rapport. So we're digging into this list. And I have not prepared at all. These are truly hot, piping hot takes. I'm just giving them to you as they occur to me. Also, there are 14. I don't know if we have that much time. We'll just do what we can. Trend number 1, country house chic. Fall's most alluring trend. That is strong language, at least in the eyes of the Glamour style team. So everyone agrees, everyone at Glamour and Jake Henry all agree. Fall's most alluring trend is a confluence of plaids, relaxed layers, and long skirts. It's dressing as though you decamp to a country house. Okay, immediate reaction. I like this because it's warm. I like this because it's warm. The barn jacket thing, I like. I like taking something you could wear around a campfire and that maybe you do wear around a campfire and making it fashion, putting it on the runway and making it so that you can wear it with things like gowns, long skirts, etc. And everyone's like, oh, that looks great because this year it's fashion. And I like it because that's a practical item that you might already have, that you can find at a thrift store, that you can run into the ground. It doesn't have to look brand new. It's not marred by age. In fact, age adds value, and that's exactly the kind of thing that I like in fashion. I like something that gets better over time instead of getting less appealing once the gloss of newness has worn away. Arguably, that's true for all of these things. The knee-high rain boots, thick cable knit tights. The models, the runway models on the Glamour article show a riotous mix of plaids. I'm a fan of print mixing in general, and I've done it a lot in my past. Right now, I'm really leaning into solids and neutrals and like a really minimal color palette. So I won't be doing this, but I will be incorporating silhouettes and much more casual, like workwear and weekend wear and hiking type of clothes that fit with my palette into more elevated outfits in the way of this principle, in the way of this trend. But there are things that I already own. There'll be things I already own. I'm not going to go out and buy something specific to this. And I actually do feel like it's not advisable to buy things specific to that trend unless you really need them for the long haul. This kind of look is in right now, but it's going to be out at some point. It's too specific, I feel, to persist like season after season, year after year. So unless you are then going to turn around and wear this plaid dress in your life like every winter because it's very you, don't get it just for the trend, you know? Okay, Boho 3.0. This was in the other article. I hope I'll be able to remember everything. I like this actually because it's Jake Henry Smith's same article rewritten for fall, and he's pulled some of the trends through from summer to fall, which tells me that he, someone who pays more attention to the runways than I do, knows that the trend is persisting, is lasting, and I like having that thread. But I said what I have to say about Boho in the spring summer fashion trends video, which is just that I was such a Boho girly in the past that it makes me uncomfortable now. So I'm not going to be doing this. But I think I also said that I really liked the way that the Boho runway looks were looking, and that's even more true right now. Like this feather skirt, are you kidding me? And that doesn't even look that Boho to me. This black top with the feather skirt, that actually looks extremely modern, like contemporary, minimal. It's like something that is traditionally boho, but made sleeker. And let's see if that's what Jake Henry is saying. It's the third coming of the boho aesthetic. He says, yeah, it's just generally saying that the current take on boho is fresher. I feel like it's fresher specifically because it's more polished, more pulled together. All three of these looks, the Ulla Johnson, Chloe, and oh no, Bottega Veneta?
Bottega Veneta.
I know that that's not it. We want the Italian pronunciation.
In English and American, the name of this Italian luxury goods and high fashion brand, founded in 1966 in Vicenza. That's in the north of the country, in the Veneto, around the city of Venice. So how do you go about pronouncing this in Italian? Bottega Veneta.
Bottega Veneta. Okay, so the Ulla Johnson, Chloe, and Bottega Veneta. Bottega Veneta. I did take a year of Italian. I was like semi-fluent in Italian when I studied abroad in Florence. I remember having whole conversations with people about things that had happened, like with a shopkeeper, about getting locked out of my apartment. And now I can't even pronounce Bottega Veneta without looking it up on the internet. So it's the Bottega Veneta look that I feel really shows the way in which boho has been freshened up. It's been made sleeker. Boho has like traditionally I feel a kind of messiness to it and also a kind of dustiness. And I feel that these looks are very pulled together. I like that, but I'm still not going to be doing this unless it's in that minimalist, that sharp minimalist way. Like I would wear that black angular top, the like one shoulder top with the black and white feather skirt. I would wear that. I feel like it would actually fit into my wardrobe. So go figure. There is some crossover between what I'm into and boho. And I recently posted a video about my current aesthetic, digging deep into that. So if you'd like the context, then click through and watch that one. Trend number 3, denim on denim. Much has been said about denim on denim. Every time I mention it, there's someone in the comments like, not the Canadian tuxedo. And indeed, Jake Henry Smith says the Canadian tuxedo has been the subject of some ridicule, but fashion insiders agree. This is the season of the full denim look. I've got to say, I kind of like it. I object to an objection that is theoretical. I feel like the concept Canadian tuxedo, denim on denim, anything can be done well or done poorly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think denim on denim can be done quite poorly in a way that reeks of Canadian tuxedo, and it is just like, oh my God. It can be done in an inelegant way, in a way that looks just kind of like, oh, I only wear jeans and then I don't have anything to wear on top except for this jean jacket or something. So it's like, oh, you're wearing jeans on top and you're wearing jeans on bottom. Like, it doesn't match. It doesn't really go together, but it's both denim. It's a Canadian tuxedo. I feel like it can be done awkwardly, but I also feel like it can be done really chicly and elegantly, and kind of in two ways. The models that we're seeing here are wearing what are clearly matched sets, two-piece outfits made of the exact same denim, in some cases sort of the same pattern, like a pattern of pieced denim put together, and it's done on the top and it's done on the bottom. So this doesn't give Canadian tuxedo, right? This gives outfit. This gives two-piece outfit. And the fact that the fabric is denim doesn't all of a sudden make it canceled, because it's being done tastefully. But I also feel like it can be done well in a more casual way, as long as you're really inhabiting the garments and they feel really you. Sometimes it can be, different kinds of denim, not necessarily the same color, like the opposite of matchy-matchy, basically. As long as it's intentional and it's worn with confidence, I feel like you don't fall into the Canadian tuxedo trap. So what I was trying to say is I kind of object to an objection that doesn't take into account the way in which a thing can be worn well. And it's just like, oh, I can't even look at it because it has something in common with this concept that has traditionally been maligned. I like this because it's monochromatic, because I love an outfit that has the same color on top as it does on the bottom. I like a two-piece set. I like a really cohesive outfit. I like something where there's not too much going on, right? Where it's minimal in one way, even if it's maximal in another way. One way for an outfit to be minimal in one way for it to be minimal in one way. One way for an outfit to be minimal is for it to be all the same fabric, top and bottom, and then it can be maximal in terms of silhouette, and that I like that. I prefer that to a boring, basic silhouette that has a bunch of different fabrics or variety of fabrics. So I prefer, you could say even prefer denim on denim to a lot of things, actually. All right, trend number 4, riding boots. Did they go anywhere though? Because a lot of people wear riding boots every winter. It just means flat, high boots, like knee-high flat boots. Footwear trends are tough because it's like shoes. You have to have shoes that support your feet, that are comfortable, that fit with a lot of outfits. Shoes are a very practical buy, and they're expensive. They tend to be more expensive than the other elements of an outfit, especially if you're trying to get well-made shoes that will last. It rubs me the wrong way to think of buying a certain kind of shoe because it's trendy this season, because I'm always thinking about how the shoe's going to look next year and the year after that and the year after that. I'm still wearing my winter boots from like 2 winters ago, which are Lug's old Chelsea boots. Probably not as trendy right now as riding boots, but they're still in beautiful shape. They're really great shoes. They still go with all my clothes. I'm still going to continue to wear them instead of buying riding boots. So that's why this makes me, I see this and I'm like, riding boots suddenly trending is making my really beautiful investment pieces, my Chelsea boots, potentially in the eyes of some people look outdated or outmoded. I mean, I'm not going to pay heed to that. I'm going to keep wearing them, but I don't like it. It's funny, something like denim on denim or the barn jacket trend, I'm like, yeah, lots of people have outerwear that can kind of work with that. Or, you might have a denim jacket somewhere and you might also have some jeans and you can just wear them together and you can do the trend. So I feel like there's this sort of digging into your own closet and putting things together in a new way, guidance that's given by those trends, and I'm into that. Riding boots, it's like, well, maybe you already have some riding boots, but it's just like, oh no, these are the cool shoes right now and anything else is not good. But so many people already have the shoes that they're going to wear this winter, I guess. And I don't know. I'm not as into it. It's nothing against riding boots. I think they're fine. The boots themselves are fine. It's kind of timeless. So if you buy a pair right now, you can probably wear it for a long time and it's not going to feel super outdated. It doesn't hit right for me, footwear trends like this. And I kind of had the same objection to the ballet flats in the last video. Oh, look at this one. Dark cherry accessories, the cherry cola trend. I love it. And this is the kind of trend that could potentially lead someone to buy a bunch of stuff that they're not going to wear for very long, or they're only going to wear for one season. Especially if you want your shoes and bag to match and you buy shoes, then you have to buy a bag. And then if you buy a hat and a scarf, I mean, I could just see someone being like, I'm going to go for the cherry cola accessories look this season. Then you're like buying a bag, buying a scarf, buying buying a hat, buying shoes. That's a lot. And it's going to be very noticeable as last year's trend next year. I already have a burgundy bag. I own a burgundy, like a small purse. I'm excited to carry that bag, and I'm excited to figure out how I can make it work with shoes that don't match it in color, like with other accessories. But I think that we as consumers need to be wary of going all in with the dark cherry accessories trend because it's so recognizable. It takes a lot to pull it off. Like, it takes investing in a lot of pieces, and it's so recognizable, and it's going to continue to be recognizable as what it is past when it's the freshest thing. I mean, saying this to myself just as much as to anyone, to everyone, because I've been tempted to like go out and buy burgundy everything and dark cherry everything. But I think one is enough. Like, one little shoe or one little pair of sunnies in this shade is going to be enough to play with this trend if you're into it. And if you already have things in that color, if that's been your accessories color, it's your moment to shine. All right, we're only on number 6. If I'm going to make it through all 14, I'm going to have to give some faster hot takes, and I have one for this. 6. Studs, studs, studs. I don't like them. I don't like studs on clothes. What does Jake Henry have to say? Hey, stud. Thanks to Boho's big resurgence, studs are also back in the spotlight, and more prominently than ever. Then he just says, studs graced bags, belts, boots, and jackets on a bunch of runways. We've been seeing a bunch of runway studs. There's no other commentary. I just don't like them. It's like heavy metal lumps on your clothes, looks uncomfortable, looks sometimes a little tacky to me. All of this is sort of objective. I don't have much of substance to say about this. It's just when I see something with studs on it, I'm like, no. Yeah, no, I just don't like the way that they look. I've never owned a studded garment, and I don't really get it. But I think I can say that I don't get it. That's kind of on me. You know, there's something that other people see in studs, and I'm sure it's valid. It's just an easy one for me to pass on. And I think it just has something to do with it's tactile. You know, it's like all this metal weighing something down and all of this adornment that doesn't have a reason. It doesn't feel like it's elegantly integrated into the use value of the item. I think that that's why it doesn't work for me. Okay, number 7, prep school. We talked about this in summer, and I bared my soul about the wounds of my youth. And if you need to see me doing that, you can go back and watch the other video. I said I kind of like it, but I don't really wear it. I kind of feel like that now, although it's easier for me in the fall. In the fall, I can actually get in touch with my preppy side. A cardigan here, a vest there. I feel like riding boots are a little preppy, maybe a pleated skirt. I do sort of undone, slouchy preppy pretty well in the fall, actually. So I'm not against it. I think it's a little easier to pull off right now. Whereas in the summer, it was like tennis skirts and stuff like that. And that was a no for me. But I think that there's a lot of fall clothing that isn't necessarily preppy on its own. Like a trouser, for example, isn't necessarily preppy. But if you put it with a blazer or a collared shirt, style it a certain way, then it can be preppy and you can kind of lean into this trend. And I like that. I like it when a trend is something that you can piece together from what you already have just by styling it in a certain way. Loafers. Oh, that's the next one. Number 8, chunky loafers. Everything I said about riding boots and about footwear trends out the window because I want a pair of chunky loafers. I didn't realize this. Oh, but this is interesting. After a few seasons in the fashion doghouse, brands like Gucci and Victoria Beckham are going big on stacked loafers for fall. Jake Henry, I don't mean to nitpick, but grammatically, and this might be what you meant, grammatically, this means that brands like Gucci and Victoria Beckham were in the fashion doghouse for a few seasons, and now they're going big on stacked loafers for fall. I think it's quite possible that what Jake Henry meant was that stacked loafers have been in the fashion doghouse for a few seasons, but now brands like Gucci and Victoria Beckham are going big on them for fall. I think that might be what he meant. I don't think Gucci and Victoria Beckham were in the fashion doghouse, were they? You thought this video was about fashion, but it turned out to be a grammar lesson. Anyway, chunky loafers, what can I say? He's saying right here, I think he's saying that they are in right now, but they were just out. So what I want to say is like, oh, a chunky loafer is enduring if you get one, or if I get a pair of chunky loafers, I'll be able to wear them forever. But what if they go back into the fashion doghouse? I'm not into that way of thinking about shoes, right? I'm not into that language. language, I will just continue to wear them. If you are worried about that kind of thing, then I would say that this is cautionary language and you should not jump on this bandwagon, or you should not get the chunky loafers at all if you feel that you will be ashamed to wear them in a coming year. And I guess this is the kind of shoe that happens to. I just think it's great. I think a very chunky loafer is a way to bring a preppy look into kind of like the minimalist modern space. Leopard print, a controversial print. Is that what Jake Henry said? Oh, divisive. He used the word divisive. Mob wife winter has evolved. Welcome to leopard print fall. So many of our favorite designers showed the divisive print for fall. Actually, I was just talking about leopard print with some Gen Z women. My cousin, who just graduated from college, is living in our house for a couple of months. Some of her friends were over for dinner last week and the topic of leopard print came up, and one of her friends memorably said, we were talking about whether it's cool or not. I might have even asked them what they thought. One of her friends memorably said, what did she say? I think she might have said it depends on the print. Everybody agreed that it depends on the exact print. And then I think that my cousin's friend said black and yellow bad, brown and orange good. I think she just meant that if you've got kind of like a warm brown toned leopard print, that feels like that's in for fall, whereas like a really stark black and yellow leopard print still feels tacky, right? We also discussed how it sort of depends on the silhouette, but I really buy this thing about the colors in the print. And I think that if you're dealing with colors that make the print feel like it's on the neutral side in terms of the palette, leopard print kind of is a neutral. I've heard this said before and it stuck with me, and I always think of it this way. Leopard print is a neutral. If you think of it that way, you can make sense of it very easily and wear it very easily. But it makes the most sense, I think, as an accessory rather than like a full garment. Number 10, butter yellow. Here we are again. Fancy meeting you here. Butter yellow was on the list in the spring and summer. So I'm not really going to talk about it. I still feel the same way. These really bright butter yellow colors, I think that that's tough to wear. I've come across some sort of champagne-y things in my wardrobe since then that arguably are on the butter yellow spectrum that I think are beautiful. I can get behind that. A cream neutral with a bit more yellow pigment than most creams. But what we're seeing here are strong yellows, more what I would think of as butter yellow. Although these Jeffrey Campbell shoes, I'm like clicking on the link from these Jeffrey Campbell slightly heeled ballet like glove flats are yummy. They look yummy to me. I'm reading the reviews. Yeah, they look yummy and they look fashion and I want them. And they're yellow. They're butter yellow. I could see how a shoe like this could go with a bunch of neutral outfits and be a pop of color that's not too strong of color. So I can see the appeal of butter yellow there. What I said in the other video about how this idea of dressing yourself in butter yellow from head to toe, as much as I love a monochromatic outfit, I think it's rough because it's like, how do you wash it? Can't put it in with your dark colors, but you can't put it in with your white clothes. Does this stay looking good over time? Is it going to be relevant in your future? You know, but I love butter yellow as a leather color. I love butter yellow leather. And everything about that trend that appeals to me is leather, like leather clothes or leather accessories. That's my hot take. Butter yellow for clothing, very hard to pull off without it looking dingy. Okay, trend 11, T-bar shoes. I actually have a strong opinion about T-bar shoes, which is that they're usually not flattering because they kind of cut off the leg. And this is just me calling on my vast experience with tango shoes for dance, because I danced tango for a really long time every day. It was like my main thing I was doing in my life for a decade. And some tango shoes have this T-bar styling. If the strap across the front of the ankle is pulled down to a point by the bar, or not, that's the bar, but by the strap that connects to the front of the shoe, so that, you know, you look down the leg and then right at the ankle, there's like a V shape made by the bar being pulled down. That is a really nice shape for a shoe on a leg. That makes a really nice line. If the strap just cuts straight across your ankle or your foot or your leg or something, it really cuts off the leg and that's tough to work with. That's my assessment. And I do tend to shy away from these kinds of fisherman style sandals where the bar goes straight across for that reason, if it's like higher up on the foot closer to the ankle. Trend number 12, fur for all, faux fur. And I love texture. I love dramatic silhouette. I do feel like voluminous faux fur garments tend to be minimal in terms of color to balance out the fact that the texture and the volume and the silhouette are so dramatic. dramatic. And that's the exact kind of balance that I like. What I was saying before, if something has a basic silhouette but is very busy in terms of print or color, that's not my favorite. If something has really dramatic silhouette and texture but is very minimal in terms of its palette, in terms of its color, I'm really into that. That's like my favorite thing. So this tends to be my favorite thing. I like it. I like where we're going, and I love the images from the runway under this category. 13, neckties. Wow, I haven't seen this anywhere. Apparently, few accessories have dominated Fashion Month as much as neckties. Once a symbol of structure and conformity, ties now signal a playful subversiveness that feels now. So I'm very into that. I love a playful subversiveness. I've only ever worn a tie when I've been like dancing in the leading role in tango. So it feels like a very costumey thing to do to me. It's hard for me to imagine it. In the images, these models are all wearing suits, like really, well, no, two of these are street style. These are amazing, these outfits, but they're all with collared shirts, you know, so I don't feel like it's just the tie that's the trend that's serving playful subversiveness. It's like wearing the top part of the underlayer of a business outfit, like a shirt and tie, but make it fashion, but make it slouchy. It's strong. It's a strong look the way it's being worn here. It feels, for me personally in my day-to-day life, like a bridge too far in terms of adornment. Because the thing about a tie is it doesn't serve a purpose. And I struggle with garments that are just extraneous, just flapping around for looks. So it's very much not for me, but I love it. I love it. I love the way that it looks, and I love that people are doing this. And number 14, glove flats. So here we go. We've gone from ballet flats, which were on the spring summer list, to glove flats, and we're going to see how fickle I am, because I love a glove flat. And I noticed a bunch of glove flats on my personal inspo board when I filmed that video about my personal style and how it's evolving. I've been keeping my eye out for glove flats. The reason that I fell in love with those leather butter yellow heeled flats, they're glove flats. A glove flat is like a second skin shoe that goes all the way up. Like a ballet flat sort of just covers the toes and sometimes not even the whole toe. And a glove flat goes more of the way up the foot, like closer to the ankle. So it's sort of like you've stuck your foot into a glove. I don't know. It's the sleek, minimal, textural, silhouette-oriented thing. And right here, what Jake Henry says about it kind of explains, I think, why I react this way. He says, while busier ballet flats are still very much in the mix, designers and style influencers have been influenced by perhaps the simplest silhouette of all, the glove flat. Free from straps, bows, and other embellishments, these shoes aren't meant to shock, but they can still define an outfit. Exactly. That's exactly what I love right now in fashion. I don't tend to be into things that are busy. This is really me giving me a hot take coming from the point of view of my personal style. I feel like I've sort of been doing that the whole time. I like something that can define an outfit without being about shock value or loud, without being loud. It's almost like the sleek serenity of the glove flat is what defines the outfit, and also affects the way you walk. If I get some glove flats, will have to find some that support my feet, because I feel like a shoe has to be ergonomic in some way. You know, it performs a practical function. But since they're trending, hopefully it won't be too hard to find a pair that suits me, but probably not until next year. I'm probably not going to be able to buy them this fall, but I'll be keeping an eye out. However, what I said about ballet flats is that they just always seem to fall apart. And I feel like glove flats potentially have the same issue, or even worse, because it's like thin leather clinging to your foot. Just how long is that going to last? How long is it going to look good? Something to think about before you or I invest in a pair of glove flats. And that is it. I kind of like where we're going. I feel like there's a lot that's, what did Jake Henry say about the ties? Playfully subversive. It seems like there's a lot that's playfully subversive, a lot to sink one's teeth into. Most importantly, a lot that can be done with what you already own, a lot that you can find in thrift shops. But fall fashion, according to this list, it feels kind of comfortable to me. Like, it feels like there's not all that much that's really intense, like you have to be wearing this now or it doesn't look good or you look like you're not in. There's a lot of mixing high and low. There's a lot of mixing new and old, a lot of comfort. And in the context of my recent video about my personal style and where I think it's going, this makes me all the more excited to dig into building a capsule wardrobe for fall, which I'll be doing very soon. So stick around, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thank you for being here, and don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.